in the warm-up, we had those examples where we had a monomial multiplied by a binomial, and we just kind of used the distributive property. Okay, well, in this particular example, we're finding the product, but we now have a binomial, right? That's two terms. We have an x and a positive 2, and then we have an x and a positive, or and a negative 3, excuse me. So both expressions there have two terms, and we're multiplying those together. Okay. Now the first thing I like to do is just kind of separate the terms here and what we actually have going on. Okay, so I know here I've got a positive x, or a positive 1x, okay, and here I have a positive 2, okay, and we're multiplying that by a positive 1x and then a negative 3. Okay, now all this really is, you kind of see my title for this slide, I call it the double distributive property, because that's essentially what we're doing here. Okay, we're first going to go ahead and we're going to take the x and then multiply it by this x, right? X times x is going to give us x squared. Okay, then we're going to take that x again, and now we're going to multiply it by this negative 3, right? So x times negative 3 is going to give us a negative 3x. Okay, now we did that one distributive property, now we have to do the second distributive property. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the positive 2 and I'm going to multiply that by each term of the binomial. So a positive 2 times x is going to give us a positive 2x. Okay, and the positive 2 times that negative 3 is going to give us a negative 6. Okay, and now what we can see now is we have, it looks like 4 terms total, but we also have these like terms. Okay, I've got this negative 3 here, this negative 3x, and I have a positive 2x. So when I add those up, again, negative 3 plus 2 is going to give us negative 1, or negative 1x. So my final answer is just going to be x squared minus 1x minus 6. And that is our final simplified polynomial expression in standard form, okay, because our exponents are in decreasing order all the way down to our constants, okay? So again, pretty simple. It's just like the double distributive property, all right? Let's check out one more example, okay? This next one, we have the binomial of x plus 8 multiplied by the binomial of x minus 7, okay? Or the quantity of x plus 8 times the quantity of x minus 7. Okay, I'm going to split these up in a really similar way. We're just going to kind of put these terms here. I've got a positive x, and then I have this positive 8 in the first binomial. Okay, and then in the second part, I've got a positive x, and then I've got a negative 7. Okay, and so again, it's the double distributive property. I'm just going to go ahead and take this x. I'll multiply it by this x. Remember, it's x to the first times x to the first is x squared. Okay, I'll then take this x and I'll multiply it by my negative 7 here. So x times negative 7 will just be a negative 7x. Okay, after that, now I'm going to multiply my positive 8 by each binomial in the other quantity. So, each term in the other quantity. So I'll take a positive 8 times x, and that'll give me a positive 8x. Then positive 8 times that negative 7 is going to give us a negative 56. Okay, so at this time, I now have 4 terms. I'm going to combine the ones that are alike. So I'm going to combine our x terms. I now have a negative 7x and a positive 8x. Okay, so when I combine those two together, my final answer will just be x squared. Negative 7x plus 8x is just a positive 1x. And then I'm going to write my negative 56. And again, this is going to be my final product, okay, of those two binomials. Is now a trinomial with a degree of 2, okay, and we're good to go. All right, I hope these examples were helpful. Again, all we're doing is the double distributive property.